Hello loves, welcome to Fifth Dimension. Today's reading is going to be focused on what your guides really want you to forgive within yourself, okay? So pile number 1 is the number 26, letting go. Pile number 2 is the number 33, sexual arts. And pile number 3 is the number 13, rejection. If you want to choose by crystal, I have a little citrine pyramid, a clear quartz, and a labradorite. So go ahead and choose your pile, whatever you feel most drawn to, and I will see what your reading loves. Hi, pile number 1. If you chose this card, the number 26, letting go, or the little citrine pyramid, then this is your reading. I'm going to go ahead and get started with channeling the messages from the overall energy of what your guides really want you to focus on forgiving within yourself. What I'm getting very strongly is that you have probably had experiences within your past where you have had a strong attachment to, could be anything, right? Just getting comfortable, whether you were in a healthy environment or not. For a lot of you, I'm getting the clear feeling that it's when it comes to relationships. But like I said, it could resonate for you in a different way. It could be maybe staying in jobs that were unfulfilling for way too long, friendships that were maybe one-sided and unbalanced. But it's definitely something that caused you some sort of pain, okay? Some sort of wounds from having experienced this, okay? There's a lot of darkness in this card. There's a lot of fog, so maybe a lot of confusion, maybe a lot of doubt that these situations would bring within yourself. I feel like there's a lot of energy of self-worth that was creating this type of attachment to situations or persons that were very clearly, I would say, I feel like you have the full awareness that that you deserved more, but maybe the doubt of whether you have the capacity to take the steps in order to get yourself out of those situations, okay? So that if that resonates with experiences that you've had, doesn't have to be currently. It could just be like, actually, it feels like multiple experiences in different ways throughout your life in which there was this heavy attachment. And it could, even for some of you, I'm feeling, go all the way back to childhood when it comes to this treatment, okay? I'll just say that. But if that resonates with you, then this is your correct pile. I'm just going to quickly pull some oracles from the 4 decks that I have here. I think I want to do, let me start off with 1 of each. And if I need more, I will. I do want to really quick thank those of you that have been subscribing. I really appreciate it. If you've not, take 1 second, this moment, click that subscribe button. Do me the favor. It definitely sends like a ripple of love my way and helps me with the goals that I'm currently trying to accomplish in my own life's journey. All right, so we have the answers you need are coming. There's been some sort of clarity that you've been seeking for sure. Pile number 1. Okay, we got 2. We got the wild woman and the child. Let me get one from the energy oracle. Oh, that was fast. Am I reading reversals today? No, I'm not reading reversals today. Okay. And can we get one from this unknown? I don't know the name currently. Oh, wow. Okay, 3. We have mountains, stand your ground. Heart guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Ooh, that matches very beautifully with the overall energy. Shield maiden, make plans and focus. All right. There's a lot of very earthy energy here. Okay, let me sit with your cards for a second. All right, pile number one. So, all I gotta say is holy shit. All right, so I sat with your cards for a minute, and many messages, I was able to feel many messages. The first thing I want to start off with is strongly with that energy, like I said, this attachment to. I feel like that created like a push and pull. And the reason I say that is because there's this Gemini. I feel like there was like maybe like a double life that you had to live, and keep a part of you like hidden away in these situations. So that could still apply for people, like relationships, friendships, career. But I feel like the amount of toxicity, if you will, that you were experiencing sort of forced you to abandon certain parts of yourself, to not be able to express. Maybe you were told, like I said, some of you for childhood as well, like maybe you were not allowed to express yourself freely, like just be who you are. Maybe you were told like, no, that's bad, that's wrong, this is how you should behave. You know how children are conditioned and all that. I can definitely relate with that, actually, pile number one. Not being allowed to be myself. There was a lot of friction and I was very rebellious, and the more that I was being told you shouldn't be this way, that's bad, the more I was like, okay, that's enough. I've said enough already. But I definitely feel like there was a part of you that you felt like you had to abandon, coming through strongly with the Gemini energy here. And this is the first time I've ever seen that in this card, is this feeling of this is not the answers you need are coming. Maybe it feels like answers, but for me it really feels like the changes you need are coming. So maybe being able to see changes are answers for you, answers to your prayers, right? So maybe that's how it comes, versus answers to questions. There is this sleep side of a duality, and I feel like that sleep side was a very deep part of you, like your true self that you were made to put away in these life experiences, and it feels very restrictive, like you had to put a part of yourself away in a little box and tuck it away somewhere, and that really caused you something. That was a huge sacrifice that you were making in order, I really feel, to like fit in, to be approved of, either by persons, either by society. You know, like it's just, there's so many possibilities with how that could apply. But then with this indecision also gives me that duality. So there's like this split, this side and that side, the same as the Gemini energy, which really just confirms that to me. So I feel like this created, like, you had to have had a huge imbalance, because there's pure duality, there's darkness here. So it's like losing a part of yourself that is absolutely necessary. Necessary is not the word, but I can't think of the word. And I feel that imbalance strongly, because then what comes after this, like all of this is like really deep earth energy. Okay, and it's like really about like taking your power, being true to yourself, like standing your ground, specifically here with the mountains, like not allowing anybody to tell you that you, look, there's a duality here too. I just saw it. As above, so below. There's a duality there too. But this is really about embracing all parts of yourself. If you can see, it's not covered by the dirt. It's completely exposed. So this part that used to be hidden of you, it's about really like standing your ground and expressing that. No longer denying that part of yourself. And the main purpose of this reading, right, was what do you need to forgive yourself for? I feel like you beat yourself up for allowing those situations to really take control of your life for such a long time. You feel like you lost a lot of time where you could have been exploring who you are and really just expressing yourself and growing and loving and, you know, doing all these wonderful things that you're able to do when you really connect with your true self. Okay, heart guardian, love and let yourself be loved. I feel like you do have the strong capacity to love, but I feel like you have a problem with, not a problem, wrong word, but that you have not completely been able to be receiving of love. Like, it makes you feel uncomfortable because there's something you don't trust about it. Why? Because you've not been able to feel unconditionally loved, maybe ever. Maybe your parents didn't have the capacity to love unconditionally. For some of you, family members, just, you know, it just feels like there's a lot of isolation. This feeling of being so isolated and not being able to express who you are because of what's expected of you in certain situations. With Wild Woman the Child here, this is literally about being your like fun and playful self, which is really what your authentic self is, right? When you feel like really in just carefree, when you're not in the state of stress, when you're not in the state of lack, when you're not in the state of worry, when you're not in the state of toxicity, when you're just in positive, pure energy, that's when it's the best time to play. That's when it's the most fun to play, right? And I feel like there's this strong part of you that needs to experience life in a playful way. And maybe that's what was hard for you to forgive, is that I feel that again about there's so many time that I lost. For some of you, I'm very strongly getting that it's specifically a relationship that you were in for a long term that was very restricting, that was very toxic, that you knew was not for you, but yet you stayed, and you are having trouble with forgiving yourself for how long you stayed, okay? And you need to let that go, because there's nothing is ever lost. There's always something to be gained, and there's no way we can get anywhere when it comes to spiritual evolution or just growth in general in life without experiencing some sort of challenge, you know, some sort of opposite, so that you can have the will for something more, the opposite of that experience, okay? It's like that push. It's like the fuel that pushes you to grow, to seek more for yourself. And I feel like that is, like, it's made you so strong, and it's made you really in tune now with what you experienced and why you experienced it, because I feel like there's been a lot of growth from that point to where you are now. But like I said, there's still that trouble in forgiving yourself for choices you made. Mistakes, we're supposed to make mistakes, so don't take it so seriously, pile number one. But yeah, playful energy, you're being invited and guided to playful energy. I feel like this will also help with forgiving yourself. Shield Maiden, make plans and focus and stand your ground. I really feel like what you are doing is so powerful. I feel like you are in this like new energy where you are finally able to love yourself. I feel to give love like from a pure place and not from a place of wanting something in return. I feel like you genuinely have worked on self-love and being able to nurture yourself. I just see like holding a little flame and like keeping it safe and nurturing yourself to be able to now expand that into like multiple flames that you can now share with others, because it's just, you're so fueled. Like I said, this fun is fuel. But yeah, I definitely feel like there is a lot of changes that are coming for you, and that may be what's triggering this energy right here about the past. I feel like you've been reflecting a lot, and that's probably why you're in that energy. It's probably bringing you down and making you feel a little foggy. Maybe it's specifically at night, you know, you start getting those memories and thinking. I feel like for some of you, you definitely are having trouble. Sorry about that. I'm trying to stretch my legs. Maybe some of you have had trouble sleeping because of these thoughts are recurring. And yeah, but you're going places, pile number one. You're a person on a mission to experience life at full capacity now that you're in your authentic energy, okay? So that is really the overall. Forgive yourself for when you were not, okay? Don't think of time as lost, because nothing is ever lost. So that is your reading, pile number one. If you haven't subscribed already, please take that 1 second, click that button. It helps me out in ways you don't even know. No, I was watching my subscriber count, and it makes me happy every time I see the number go up. So like, for the simple purpose of making me feel that, you should click subscribe. Give me a like if it resonated with you. Comment if you feel comfortable doing so. I always very much appreciate that as well when there's some sort of communication. That's awesome. But yeah, until we vibe again, pile number one. Hi, pile number two. If you chose the card number 33, Sexual Arts, with all this fire and this clear quartz, then this is your reading. And I don't choose these cards, by the way. I shuffle and I have them down, and then I'm just like, okay, what came out for pile number two? So this isn't even me. This is all you. Pile number two. I don't know who you are connecting with, but there is some intense sexual chemistry going on. And I feel like it's like constantly playing out in both of your energy. So maybe like thoughts being directed at each other in sexual nature. Okay, definitely guaranteed in sexual nature. This is like ridiculous. This isn't even like flame. This is like fucking lava. You don't stand a chance in lava, okay? In the flames, like, you can stop, drop, and roll. But when you're in lava, like, forget it. You're just melting. And they both just look like they're surrendering to the melting. They're just fucking melting in volcano lava. This is definitely twin flame, soulmate, soul connection, fated, destiny, whatever you want to call it. The term really doesn't matter. It just feels like it's just that draw, that like really magnetic draw that you have, where you just want this person. To put it very simply, you crave this person. Okay, it's more than wanting. You crave this person. So, okay, this isn't even like one of those readings, and I just like caught myself and I was like, wait, this is not one of those readings. This is actually supposed to be a what you need to forgive yourself for. And the first thing that came was guilt. Why is there guilt associated with this intense lava? Okay, so let's see what that's all about. Did I already ask you to subscribe? I don't know. If I didn't, then do it. Do that while I shuffle. That way we're both being productive. Bring love into the situation. Clearly, why is there... I don't understand why they would be guilt associated. Why does pile number 2 need to... Oh my goodness. Control yourselves. They have never misbehaved this way, like in a really long time, and I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm gonna shuffle calmly. Maybe I'm handling you. Maybe I'm handling you a little rough. Maybe that's something significant with all that lava. Maybe you're being handled a little rough. Pile number 2. Okay. Be more gentle. Pile number 2. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. This is also giving me that same energy of the both of you, like giving equal amount of energy. Yeah, but I'm definitely feeling it has something to do with guilt. I don't know where it's... Okay, this came out in pile number 1. That might be significant. The sun. Oh, there's more fire. Okay, but the sun wins. The sun wins. The sun takes the cake. Why? Because lava. Okay, lava, you're cute and all, but the sun is like, you don't even have to, you can't even get near it. You're dissolving before you even touch it. Messages for pile number 2. Give me like phoenix vibes. The serpent is about transformation. Okay, I already got from that deck. My bad. Which one do I need? This one. Pile 2. I'm taking much longer. Ugh, I was supposed to make a short reading. Pile number 2. What's going on with pile number 2? What do they need to forgive themselves for? What do they need to forgive themselves? No, that's too many. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted 2 cards. See beyond the current situation and move in a new direction. Then we have servant with transformation, balance. Let me get one more just to fill in the energy. I'll get another one from this one. Okay. Feel loved and comforted. Okay, there's a lot going on here. Let me sit with this energy for just 1 second. Pile number 2. Are you blinding yourself from being in love with someone? That's something that very strongly came through. I actually started my way from here, and the last thing I got from these 2 cards was that you're blinding yourself. Why? Because both these females have their eyes closed. She's completely shielded. She's completely shielded. And then it's also new moon energy. So not having vision of, not having access to viewing or awareness of. But I feel like this is self-imposed. So if there's something you need to forgive yourself for, it is about having the awareness of this love connection, because maybe okay, because clearly it's a sexual connection, right? Maybe it wasn't supposed to be a sexual connection, or maybe it was only supposed to be a sexual connection for some of you also. Either or. And there's some guilt associated with that. Why? Because you have the awareness of what you feel, but there's like a denial of it. Look, they both actually have their eyes closed too. Bye. Yeah. Both of y'all. There's duality here also. with indecision, and pile number 1 had a strong duality message. So with the 2 fish here swimming in opposite directions, they're never going to run into each other. With their eyes closed, they're never going to see each other. With all of these eyes closed by, you are both in denial. And I feel like, okay, well, on your end, for you're just feeling guilt. You're feeling guilt about being in denial because you're actively being in denial of what's in your heart, pile number 2. And maybe you're aware that you have feelings for some of you, but I feel like there's like this, like you've not sat down and told yourself, I'm in love. You've not done that, and I feel like there's obviously a reason, right? There's obviously a reason why you're choosing to do that, especially if you have like the inner awareness. You have the inner awareness of what's there. See beyond the current situation. I feel like you were trying to see beyond it, like not acknowledge it. I'm taking this card. That's the first time I've ever seen that card that time. Actually, that way is purposely seeing beyond the current situation, not wanting to acknowledge it for what it is. Your advice is to bring love into the situation. You need to forgive yourself for, you have your reasons. You fully have your reasons for not wanting to acknowledge, and maybe perhaps it has something to do with this other person not having acknowledged it as well, is why you're sort of like pushing it away. Maybe fear rejection. Didn't I see rejection? Oh, rejection is pile number 3. Okay, so this is this is going to be another one of those readings where they all merge. Like, there's different messages, but it's the same situation is what I'm feeling. Okay. Or not the same situation, but they connect in some ways. Yes, I feel like there's maybe this strong fear of rejection, but there's like that intense connection that's already been built energetically with 33 here. It's very spiritual connection. So energetically, there's a fucking bond. They are spiritually married. I mean, they've sacrificed themselves. They're just like surrendering. You know, they let go. Perhaps they could avoid the lava, but they are surrendering to choosing. That's like that commitment. They've committed to each other energetically. Like I said, energetically, that's the bond is there. The commitment is there, but there's in the physical, in the actual current situation, there's no acknowledgement for that energetic bond, is what I feel. And you are feeling guilty for that, guilty for not having made the decision to move towards it, okay? Move in a new direction. Yeah, you need to do something different, pile number 2. Acknowledge it is first, right? So acknowledging it energetically and then maybe working your way to communicating it would be the next step. That's just my advice. You do what you gotta do, pile number 2. Indecision, like I said, there's that like struggle to make that decision, I feel, but you're being guided to, just saying. This is really just about forgiving yourself for what it is that you're going through. And I really do understand, because I feel the dense energy of many, many reasons and experiences why some of you may not be willing, or maybe not even really being in a place of being prepared to acknowledge the intensity of what you feel. Why? Because it's going to bring up a lot of stuff. Let's put it that way. With the serpent, I mean, regardless, I feel like energetically you're transforming. Like the changes are happening, in other words, is what I feel. So whether there's like this physical stall in not wanting to make a decision to acknowledge the situation or make any movement on the situation to meet each other's, there's transformation happening. So the 3D follows, right? So whatever happens energetically then starts to show signs of the growth. You do the growth spiritually, in your thoughts, in your feelings, in your all of that. In your releasing, in your healing, all of that. And then it starts to ripple into the actual physical world. You start to see differences. You start to feel lighter. You start to see changes. So that's to follow. That's to come for you, pile number 2, because you are spiritually transforming in this connection regardless, just by being in the connection. When you are in soul connections, you are literally, it's like jumping into the race. Like, well, not a race. I don't like the word race, but you're jumping into the journey, the flow, the river, whatever you want to call it, okay? And there's transformation to be made when you are in soul connections, okay? Mother Earth over here, feel loved and comforted. I really feel like along with the transformation, there is a bunch of creation. Like, oh my God, stop. Her eyes are closed too. I don't know why I just noticed that. Nobody has her eyes. Does she have her eyes open? Okay, the sun is the only one that has their eyes open here. Oh no, on the Traveler. Okay, I'm getting carried away. Pile number 2, but still, that's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one that you can't see their face. So I'm gonna count that too. 6 figures in one reading with their eyes closed. But with this transformation, like, I really feel like the energy that's coming from this, because like I said, whether you, as long as you are engaging in this connection, and you're in the lava, you're very actively engaging in this connection, whether not even having to be in person, in physical, in energetically, you're in this. And it's transforming you, and it's good stuff, to be honest. You need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself, because I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on the direction of what needs to happen. And I feel like you need to just let it flow. Let it flow, and stop feeling like you need to do this, like you need to do that, like you should be XYZ. And just let it flow. That's just my advice, though. I see Mother Earth and the sun here, like the sun and the earth, like that deep connection that is necessary in order to create. Oof. That there's strong baby making energy here. The sun and the earth creating life. And right here, sacrificing life for that fire. That is intense baby making energy. That's all I gotta say. That's all I got for you, pile number 2. Forgive yourself and allow things to flow. Don't put so much pressure on a specific outcome, okay? Just let it flow. It'll take you where it needs to take you, okay? All right, loves. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. Comment, like, and that is all. Until we vibe again. Hi, pile number 3. If you chose the card 13 with rejection, as well as the labradorite little pyramid, then this is your reading. So from this card, what I'm strongly getting is, well, clearly rejection, right? But I was getting this whole story about this little pendant here that you can see, hopefully. It's like this, the green just catches my attention because everything else just has so much like grays and darkness, and it's just been stagnant and sitting there and all worn and all that. Okay, but the little green pendant, if you see it, like it's all wrapped around, but it's taken off of her. Why is she not wearing it? The first thing that I thought of was like heart chakra energy. So I feel like you, pile number 3, have closed off your heart energy, like kind of like detached from it in some cases for some of you, or just like really put like strong walls, to where there's some sort of like disconnect from you and just being able to like vibrate in the energy of love. In other words, like love would probably make you feel uncomfortable. It makes you suspicious, which I think I said in pile number 1. Yeah, these are all connecting, because I was just about to say, like, I get a strong message of needing to find forgiveness, because this reading is about, obviously, what you need to forgive yourself for. But I feel like this is more for you. For you, pile number 3, I feel like it's more than just forgiving yourself. It is also about just in general finding forgiveness. For what? For all of the rejection that you've experienced. And I feel like there has been some time that you've been separated from being able to connect deeply with your heart energy because of whatever you experienced. Maybe multiple, maybe just one very deeply wounding experience in which, and not, this doesn't have to be specifically in, oh, this, I was interested in this person, they turned me down, or I asked this person on a date and they rejected me. Not that kind of like superficial rejection. I feel like this is much deeper than that. I feel like this is like abandonment. Like, yeah, like abandonment. So that's like a higher state of rejection. From, I was going to say sources. Okay. I don't know why. Sources. Okay. Being abandoned from sources. Why can't I talk? Jesus. From sources of love, or sources of like where you were supposed to be nurtured and loved. So these like deeply like foundational either situations, it's definitely family. I'm sorry, like I was trying to tiptoe around that, but I'm just gonna say it. Maybe that's not gonna talk. This is like abandonment issues when it comes to deeply close connections. So I'm definitely 100% this is family of some sort. But really whoever the close family member, like that feeling of abandonment. And this doesn't have to be like the person gets up and leaves. This is like emotional abandonment is what I feel like. Not being able to be there, not being able to be available in a way in which your needs, in which you needed, really is what it comes down to. With all like the spider webs and stuff like that, I feel like there's been a long time since you've really connected and opened yourself up to someone from your heart space. I feel like you've been able to connect with people, but not in a genuine way to where you are able to just be yourself, to come from the energy of love is what I'm feeling. With all the grades and stuff like that, yeah, there's just like a diminished level of life, really. The curtains in the back are all like torn up and stuff, so that, you know, indicates even more. I think the wallpaper is even torn up, so that's definitely a lot of wounding experiences. I mean, I don't know how many times I gotta repeat that, but there's a very strong significance in the time as well. Like maybe for some of you this is like many times. I've experienced this many times, okay? But also for others of you, it's more like it's been such a long time, you know, and with the spider webs there, but it's been such a long time that I don't even know, like she just seems very like disoriented and lost and like, yeah, all that good stuff. Anyways, I read way too long into that card. That was actually not my intention, but I already did it, so I'm going to pull some cards about finding forgiveness. What do we need for pile number 3 on forgiveness? While I do this, you go ahead and go click that subscribe button. Your hard work is paying off, but we have a new moon in Capricorn. Oh, there's that gray energy though too. So maybe I feel like there's the intention to release that and leave it, let it go. Let's see what else we got. Okay, we have the Gatherer. I'll choose Energy Oracle. Oh, that was fast. Goddess of the Moon. One more. Angel of Strength. I should probably get 2 more. Let me get some from here. Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information. Oh, yes. We are doing some healing. Why? Because when you're able to find forgiveness within yourself for things that you've experienced in your past, it brings healing naturally. Forgiveness is not about another person. Forgiveness is actually a gift to ourselves. When we give forgiveness, it's not ever saying that what we experienced was okay, that it was all right for you to be treated in whichever way this was. But what it's actually doing is just allowing you to understand that every person is on their own journey and that not a single one of us has it all figured out. In fact, most of us don't. Plot twist, no one knows what the fuck they're doing. But let me sit with this energy for 1 second. Okay, pile number 3. So, all right, I'm going to start from this way and work my way over here. And really quick, I feel like this is another one of those readings where all the piles kind of have certain messages that are really connecting to the energy. I'm strongly feeling that, okay? I'm seeing connections. But your hard work is paying off. And the moon, goddess of the moon underneath. So obviously the moon, and look, the 2. Okay, if you saw pile 2, then you're gonna know why I'm getting carried away right now. But there's 2 other cards with their eyes closed here in opposite directions, which is giving me something of duality, which is in both pile 1 and 2 messages of duality. And also pile 2 strongly had eyes closed. Anyways, sorry. Goddess of the moon. Moon energy is about going within. What is hidden in the darkness, right? The waves, like feeling the emotions that maybe perhaps are tucked away within the deepest parts of your soul, and really bringing it to the surface. That's what the moon does, right? It causes waters to rise. It brings that to the surface. And I feel like you've been actively doing that in regards to finding forgiveness for the purpose of being able to release, right? To let go and not be burdened by that energy of having to be separate from because of previous experiences, okay? The Gatherer and Angel of Strength strongly tells me that, like this card says, your hard work is paying off. You are getting to a point of gathering the strength that you need, but also some awareness here, maybe like a new tool to be able to let this go, to find this forgiveness. I feel like this is more about not forgiving yourself, and I'm trying to keep it in the energy of, because that was the intention of the reading, but I'm just gonna like straight up say that this is not about forgiving yourself. It's really about forgiving another person, if not one, then maybe many in your life that have caused you that energy. But I see that there is I keep on wanting to say a new opportunity, but maybe it's an opportunity, but really what I feel it as is like something that's going to be like, you know, synchronistic, like gonna come into your perception. So maybe like an article, maybe somebody sends you a video, maybe if you watch YouTube, a documentary, a message in a movie, a message in a song, something that comes to you that is, especially with this, be open to healing information. Like new information or a new way that you hadn't heard of to be able to heal, that maybe you'd not been open to, or you just never had awareness of this specific technique or meditation or plant medicine maybe, or whatever. I feel like it's going to be so many different things, but you'll know, right? Because it'll be for the purpose of healing, forgiving, releasing, something like that. This information will come to you. There's guidance to trust that this is divinely orchestrated to come into your path. It's like anything else, right? When things come into our awareness, and sometimes it's almost like, oh, that's exactly what I was thinking about or looking for. It's kind of like the Google in our phone, right? It already knows what our mind is searching for because it's analyzing things. But yeah, that's what the universe is going to do for you. It's going to bring you what you need. I don't know why I made that so complicated. Emotions are running high, and Oracle, wait for important information. There is the need. Okay, like I feel like a strong impulse. There's this feeling of release and like bringing up all this energy. Yeah, because this is, you know, what I said, the moon is creating all these emotions to surface. I feel like specifically because of this energy is causing a lot of emotions to surface, that it is creating some sort of impulsive energy that's wanting to come through, but then underneath it, wait for important information. Maybe this information that's going to be orchestrated for you. The need to have some patience. Once again, I don't know why I made that so complicated. I should have just started off with that. There's a message for you, pile number 3. The need to have patience, to not act on impulse, okay? Whew, I made it through. All right. I really hope that this message resonated with you, even though I feel like I was all over the place. But if it did, and you haven't already, click subscribe, because it's the thing to do. It's what everyone's doing. And like if this resonated with you in some way, and comment if that's something that you feel comfortable with doing, because I'd love to know that there's a person on the other end of that number that YouTube shows me that people are viewing. And that it's not just robots viewing my... Okay, I'll stop. And so we vibe again, pile number 3.